Hello, I'm Charles Ware Jr. Some people know me as Buddy. I'm a native of Stockton, California, born and raised here. I love it here. I'm 34 years old. I founded and own Ware Productions. I produce, arrange, I'm a music director, I write. I've also even gotten into music publishing. So those are just some of the things that I do. Growing up in Stockton, for me, it definitely had ups and downs. It was a lot of fun times. Growing up around the Burkett area, going to Roosevelt with a lot of people I'm still friends with, a lot of family members. My family is huge. My extended family is huge. My immediate family, I'm the only boy. I have two sisters. And, you know, growing up, especially being a pastor's son, a little bit different, but I think it put me in the right direction in a lot of ways. So yeah, I had a lot of good times growing up in Stockton. Some things that I enjoyed, and then some things that just made me a better person, made me stronger, made me sharper. What I love the most about Stockton is the diversity. There's so many different, everything here. There's different styles of music. You can go out for a ride in Stockton in one night, you might hear some Latin music, you may hear some country music, you may hear some jazz, depending on what street you're on or what venue you drive by or whose house party you drive by. You can hear all kind of different music. There's amazing food here. All the different cultures represented here. I love the diversity here. Music is my passion. Music is definitely the driving force, I would say, behind a lot of the things that I enjoy doing. I got into music playing the drums in church at a very early age. Probably, I wouldn't even say playing drums in church, maybe playing on the pots and pans would be more accurate. Maybe about 2 or 3 years old, and I played drums from that time until maybe the time I was about 9, 10, then I started playing the bass, and then my bass got stolen. So I kind of transitioned to keys after that. So, and I've just kind of always been, music has always been a part of me. People that have influenced me in Stockton, from Stockton, my father would be the biggest one, my biggest influence all around. And my grandfather as well, Otho Ware. All of my uncles have influenced me in some way, shape, or form. Whether they taught me how to pick my cologne or crease my jeans or fight or, you know, whatever. All of them have had some type of influence in a positive way in my life. And Lincoln Ellis is another great influence. He's somebody I still talk to, somebody who pours into me, sharpens me up every now and then. A lot of the pastors, because I'm affiliated with so many churches in Stockton, there's so many great pastors here that have influenced me in a lot of great ways. I think that for me, church has always been a very kind of like a foundation for me, but not really that church is the foundation, more like God is the foundation. But church has kind of been a staple in my life in a lot of areas. Church has taught me how to deal with people. Church has taught me certain things about work ethic. Church has taught me about music. You know, not just the Bible and not just the things about God, but churches and growing up in church has taught me a lot about life. I think if I could give young people advice, it would be nothing is impossible. If you want to play in the NFL, you know, don't allow people to push you into creating a backup plan for that. You know, go for being in the NFL. Now, you know, of course, doing that, you have to be in school anyway, so you might as well use your time wisely and you know, get that good education. But if you want to play on big stages across the world, it's not impossible. Just set your mind for it and do it. If you want to work on cars and you want to be the mechanic everybody calls in San Joaquin Valley or abroad, you want to work on airplanes, or you know, if your goal is just to make a bunch of money legally, go for that. You know, you can do whatever you set your mind to. I want Black women to know, from Black men, I want Black women to know that you're loved, you're appreciated, you're protected, you're valued. I want you to know from Black men that we're not perfect, but we require patience, you know. And I think, you know, largely due to our history, there's certain things that Black men are still trying to figure out, you know. And so I want you all to know from a Black man that you are valued. You know, some things, like I said, we're just trying to figure out too, and we just need patience. Part of my childhood took place in North Carolina. My dad was a music pastor at a church there. So I want to say around second grade, or maybe second or third grade, I just got to a new school, and of course, you know, North Carolina is kind of like Southeast. It's a little more Southern, of course, than California. A lot more Southern, I would say. And so you deal with, you know, racism. And there it's a little more in your face. It's not like here where people kind of hide behind certain stuff. And so I'll never forget this. And I'm sure my parents remember as well. Like I want to say it was my first day at this new school. And we went on a bathroom break, and it was like the first bathroom break of the day. And so, you know, kids line up and you go in the bathroom 3 by 3 or whatever, or, you know, groups of 5 or however it was. And I remember going to the bathroom. I was going in there to use the restroom, and all of a sudden the lights turn out and I feel somebody like punch me in my face. And so, you know, automatic reaction is, you know, you just grab something and start swinging. And so, you know, I grabbed, you know, so all this took place in the dark. So I grabbed somebody and started swinging, and eventually, you know, somebody started screaming. It wasn't me. I think I hit a few people in that bathroom that day. But I did hit a few people in the bathroom. And what happened was the teacher came in and saw me, quote unquote, assaulting some kids who are a lot lighter than me. And basically the principal spun it into like an assault thing. And they were actually gonna call the police and do all that. And that was my first encounter with racism. There wasn't a lot of kids at the school that looked like me. Actually in my class, I think I may have been one of 2. And if it hadn't been for my dad stepping in and saying, you know, this isn't how my son's life is gonna start out, you know, it's not what we're gonna do. It would have been, you know, probably a bad start to, you know, my path. And so, you know, dealing with racism from an early age like that. And then I saw it, of course, while I lived there, but not only then, coming back to California, you see it in different forms and fashions too. Racism for me strikes kind of a different chord. And so seeing cases like the George Floyd and those type of things, you know, it's different when you're Black and you're a man, you know what I'm saying? And you have your license and you're driving around, you know, if you have kids. I have 3 boys, and I've been pulled over by the police with my boys. I've been pulled over by the police without my boys. I've been pulled over by the police in Stockton, on the outskirts of Stockton. I've had guns drawn on me. I think the first time I had guns drawn on me And it was for absolutely no reason. Actually, I ran a stop sign and I didn't even know it. But I want to say I was like 18 or 19. And out of nowhere, there's like 5, 6 police cars and some SUVs and guns out, and somebody on my driver's side window with a gun pointed in my face. So those type of things, you know, I think everybody hasn't had to deal with those type of things. And to go even further, I think that per race, you know, different races have had to deal with those type of things less than Black people. It's just a fact. And so there's a different type of, it's not really a fear, but there's a different realization that you have when you're driving and you get pulled over now, you know. So, you know, that it just, for me, it's not really a fear, but it's a realization that, you know, there's a certain way that I have to conduct myself, and I have to be okay with the realization that whether I conduct myself in the right way or the wrong way, depending on what type of day that the person pulling me over is having, things can either go good or bad. To Black men, young Black men, old Black men, or older, be patient with yourself. Give yourself time, and you know, just be who God has made you to be. You know, don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to be the people you see on TV. Don't try to be the people, you know, on the corner that you see. You know, just be who God made you, and give yourself time to be comfortable with that. Find success in that. You know, be patient with the people around you. Everybody's not perfect. Don't live in fear. Just do the best you can from day to day to help somebody else. Black love, when I hear the term Black love, I immediately think of my parents and grandparents. My grandparents on both sides, on my dad's side, my grandparents had 15 children and raised some children that weren't biologically theirs. On my mom's side, my parents had, I want to say, 12 children. And, you know, so I come from a very big family on both sides. And so to me, Black love is just, it's more than just pictures or, you know, BET movies or music videos or memes on social media. To me, Black love is overcoming struggles, making what needs to happen, and leaving a legacy, you know, for the generations after you. I think that's, you know, that would be my definition of Black love. When I'm creating any type of music, or even if it's just a snippet of something, if I'm creating it for me, oftentimes, because I play different instruments, I play guitar, bass, keyboards, and drums. Sometimes I'll find inspiration for whatever I'm creating from a different instrument. So everything doesn't just start all the time at the keyboard. Sometimes I may think out a drum idea and kind of build off of that. Or sometimes I may think of an idea on keyboards, and then I'll start there and then branch off into laying the other instruments and see what comes out. Sometimes it ain't, you know, all that great, and then sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's really good stuff. If I'm working with someone and they're wanting me to put music to their idea or concept, typically what I do is have them kind of give me a rough draft of what they want, even if it's just a vocal track or them humming something, you know, whatever their idea is. And, or it may be them talking and snapping their fingers, you know, who knows. And I take that and whatever notes they give me, and I just start ground level and go from track to track and build and try to add my creativity to their vision. And, you know, most of the time, things come out really good. My biggest musical influence is my dad. The people that made me want to play music were definitely my dad's, basically guys I saw growing up in church. My dad, Jonathan Chandler, Charles Young Jr. From North Carolina, you know, Preston Ross. Those guys, like all of those people made me want to play music. After I kind of started getting into music, the people that inspired me to continue and grow, of course, locally, Jerry Jordan is a very big influence of mine. And I actually, as far as playing in a band setting, I learned playing with Jerry, Devern, and Tim. They kind of helped me because for a long time, I had only played with my dad or one other musician from time to time. So they helped me learn how to play within a band, play as a team player. After that, people who have really influenced me, Tim Johnson from Connecticut, he's a very major influence, and would sit with me and teach me certain things. I would say influences from abroad. I'm a huge Yellow Jackets fan. I've seen them in person, and you know, kind of far off. And, you know, they've inspired my musical, I guess you could say, style a lot. George Duke, Kevin Bond, Jason White, Aaron Lindsay, Asaph Ward, you know, all of those producers and players are definitely influences of mine. Joel Smith was a very big influence for me, not only in music, but even in life. He even took time with me personally, talked to me about certain things, kind of poured into me as well. So, you know, some of those guys. Top 5 musical albums: Kimberell, Everlasting Life, Jacob Collier, In My Room, Yellow Jackets and Bobby McFerrin, Bang Zoom, Winans Live at Carnegie Hall, and Hawkins Love Alive 4. I would say those are probably my top 5. My favorite instrument to play is actually the drums. Yes. Favorite instrument that I currently have is my Fender Rhodes. I think I'll never depart from it. And it's kind of like my, I have to try to keep myself from not playing it on, keep myself from playing on every song. You know, so it's kind of like one of those things. I don't want all of my music to sound the same, but it has a very distinct tone. So I have to keep from playing it on everything. I love the way it sounds, the way it feels, the way it responds. All right, so maybe we'll play a little bit of Name That Tune, I guess. I'll kind of play some of my snippets of, I guess, some of my favorite songs. Some will be gospel, you know, some won't. I do love the Lord, though, and I love the music of the Most High. But I enjoy a lot of different styles of music as well. So, all right, let's start with let's see. What song was that? Let's see if y'all can hear it. Let's see, what's another one? Okay, here's one. Smile, not King Cole. I'll go back to the gospel one. Let's see. What's one? What's another one? One of my favorites. Okay, here's one. I don't even know if this is a key. Tomorrow, yep. Wine. Let me see. Okay, I'll do one more, then I'll go into what I'm gonna play. Total praise. Yep. Uh-huh. All right. So I guess this last one is a personal favorite of mine, and I think it's fitting for where we're at in our world, in our country, in our city, and just all around.